So David restores to Mephibosheth. All right, go to chapter 16. Okay, here's what's going on. Now, Absalom has come on the scene, and Absalom, remember, began to sit in the gate of the city and began to bewitch people and go, you know, he really doesn't have time for you if you'll come to me. And so he begins to steal the people. And he takes over, and one day in last chapter, somebody says to David, we got to get out now because the conspiracy is like full blown. And so David is leaving. This is the chapter where Shimei kicks dirt on him and stuff. So David's on his way out of town. He just reaches the top of the hill and he's going down the other side. And Ziba, Mephibosheth's steward. Okay, so the part I left out for time's sake, and I can't leave it out. So David says to Ziba, okay, everything I have belongs to this crippled boy. Everything I have, and it's all, you are to take care of it and watch over it for him. He is never to have one care in the world the rest of his life because of this inheritance. Okay, so here's Ziba. So David had gone a short distance, and the steward Ziba shows up waiting to meet him. He had a string of donkeys saddled and loaded with 200 loaves of bread. I wanted to get real creative here. You know, Little Debbie has those raisin things, you know, because he had 200 loaves of bread, 100 cakes of raisins. I wanted to give everybody one of those, and 100 fig Newtons, and a skin of wine. I was going to leave that one out. Okay, and laugh a little bit. All right. And the king asked Ziba, why have you brought these? Listen to this guy. Okay, why have you brought these? Ziba said, oh, the donkeys are for the king's household to ride on. The bread and fruit are for the men to eat. And the wine is to refresh those who become exhausted in the desert. Sounds awesome, doesn't it? Go to chapter 19. David comes back. Okay, verse 24 is where we started. I'm leaving so much out. Mephibosheth, Saul's grandson, goes down to meet the king. He hadn't trimmed his feet or mustache, washed his clothes. When he came from Jerusalem to meet the king said, why didn't you go with me, Mephibosheth? When I left because of Absalom, why didn't you go with me? Watch. My lord the king, since I, your servant, am lame, I said, I will have my donkey saddled. He's talking to Ziba. Go saddle my donkey so that I can ride and go with the king. But Ziba betrayed me. You scumbag? What? Over here in chapter 16, oh, isn't that sweet? He's bringing 200 loaves of bread and raisinets and fig Newtons and stuff. Oh, I wanted the king to have these. Here's what's going on. Ziba has betrayed me. One of the words for betray is deceived in the New American Standard. Ziba has deceived me. He has slandered your servant. He has slandered me, he's saying. Ziba has slandered me before you. He's lied about me to you. My lord the king, you are like an angel of God, so do whatever pleases you. All my grandfather's descendants deserve nothing but death, but you gave your servant a place among those who sat at your table. You gave me a place to sit at your table, so what right do I have to make any more appeals? And the king says, see, because what happened back in 16 is Ziba lied so much that he said, well, Mephibosheth, whatever, and he's kind of out of the scene now, and so David says, okay, so now all of that belongs to you. He took advantage of David. David's leaving town. He's depressed. His son is all... he's this state. And that was 17 years that he's had time to scheme this whole thing together to deceive David and get rid of Mephibosheth and to take the whole estate. Listen to me. That is the enemy. Okay, just as David is a type of Christ, Ziba is a type of the enemy of your soul. And he is a deceiver. And he is trying to rob you and me of our inheritance. He is playing tricks to get you to understand that he doesn't want you to know. He wants to keep you lame and crippled. See, that's what Ziba was. He was keeping Mephibosheth lame and crippled. Listen to me. Don't check out. We're almost done. And Satan wants nothing more than to keep you crippled and lame. your past sin, your past reputation, your present sin, whatever. I mean, He wants you to remain a cripple spiritually. And He's robbing you blind and taking your inheritance and taking your giftedness to keep it from you. Ziba comes as this kind, generous, faithful one, sorrowful for David's affliction and stuff back in chapter 16. I'm just here to comfort you. And the gifts which are offered by Ziba are really the property of Mephibosheth. And we learn from chapter 19, it's even his own donkey. It's a string of donkeys, and Mephibosheth's own donkey, and all of the fig Newtons and the raisin cakes are fruit taken from Mephibosheth's orchard. It's crazy. And he says, why didn't you go with me, Mephibosheth? See, Satan doesn't want you to go with the king. He doesn't want you or me to follow Jesus. And so there's this whole scheme thing I wish we had time to go into. And there are people here today. I gotta hurt. Nah. I'll come back to this. Huh?
So we got time.
I know. I'll just glance at this. There are some of us today who are here who are crippled. And not just by sin. Some of us have been crippled by religion. I was talking to a guy this week on a job. We were talking about, and he is not from this denomination, and he is absolutely lame spiritually because of this religious junk that he feels like, I have to do this, and the church wants this, and it's like, listen, that's not it at all. It's about a relationship with Christ. It's not about what your denomination or religion wants out of you. It's about Jesus. He set you free. Some of us are here today crippled by religion. Some of us are here crippled by a church that has wounded us in one way or another. Some of us are crippled by poor choices that we made. We could go on and on and on, but I'm telling you, and just like David to Mephibosheth, that cripple, Jesus, our David, has come today to say, I've taken care of it all. You don't have to live lame and crippled any longer. 2 Corinthians 11:3 says, but I'm afraid that just as Eve was deceived by the serpent's cunning, your minds may somehow be led astray from your sincere and pure devotion to Christ. And Romans 12:9 speaks of Satan who leads the whole world astray. And verse 10 calls him the accuser of our brothers. So here's the point. Don't be deceived anymore. This is who you are. This is who you are in this whole story. You are an heir of the covenant, a son or daughter of the living God. You're seated at the feast of all that He has, loaded. You are loved with unfailing kindness like that of the Lord, like David went and looked for. You are sought for, you are looked for. You have been raised to a place of honor as a member of the household with free access to the Father. You've been brought near, adored, cherished. You've been given gifts to use to express back to Him your love for Him. Your sin has left you lame in some areas, but Jesus has made our feet. Remember that gorgeous, it's over here like in 2 chapters later when David writes in this beautiful thing that ended up becoming a psalm, He has made my feet like hinds' feet and set me on high places. Isn't that awesome? This lame, you see this lame cripple, and David goes, nuh-uh, He's made my feet like the feet of deer and set me on hinds' places. A story I've told you before, but it's perfect for the ending. We had moved back to Texas, this little country town. We'd lived in Nashville and moved back to Texas to pastor. And so Brooks wants to play baseball, and so I go, well, I'll coach and give me a chance to meet people and know, and because I remember what we talked about. I'm looking for places to show the love of God, okay, like we talked about. So I sign up to coach this team. So I go to the draft meeting, and so here I am. I don't know anybody, and these guys are looking at me like. I mean, they've got like their annuals from school. They got all the pictures of the kids, and they're making notes and stuff. And I don't have a clue who any of them are. And so I'm picking blindly. Well, I'll take this kid. And I'll take this, and then, so I picked this kid named Joey. And so, all right, so I get my team together, and I call for practice, and so they come to practice, and here comes this boy on a walker. He has cerebral palsy, and he's pushing his walker. Hey, coach, my name's Joey. And so Joey comes to practice. I'm going, okay, how are we going to do this? And so, we would throw the ball for him, and it was just awesome. So I'm going to really fast forward here. So we come to the last game of the year. We're playing ball at Richards Park. And so Joey and I had been working on this. And so it's time for Joey comes, and now batting ninth for here comes Joey. And so, the crowd's clapping because they're really moved and stuff. And so he pushes his stroller up. And so I get behind him. I go, okay, Joey. And so I take the walker and I set it aside and I put my arms around him. And I go, okay, Joey. I'm whispering in his ear, Joey, okay, buddy, you ready? Hey! I go, okay, here we go. And so the pitcher throws the ball, and it's outside, so we let it go. I go, okay, Joey, let it go. All right, we're going to make him make a mistake, And so here it comes. Okay, we always take strike one. Okay, we're taking it hard. Okay. So, he bless his heart. And so, anyway, the pitcher throws, and I hit the ball. And it's going to the outfield fence. Fence is really not a good word. It's like drill rig pipe, that they've welded together to make, it's the very same part where we were playing home run derby one day with the kids, and we're out there we're playing this game, and so one of them hits a fly ball, and Nate and I are in the outfield, and I'm running after it, and Nate's going, you got room, Dad, you got room, and I'm running as hard as I can, and I hit the fence, and I'm like, spinning around this thing. So that's the same field, and so we hit this ball, and it rolls to the fence. I pick Joey up in my arms, and I begin to run, and I'm screaming in his ear, and Griffey's rounding first, and he goes, oh, and he's so excited, and stuff is drooling out of his mouth, and his head's going from side to side, and he's just thrilled beyond belief. Oh, he's laughing, and he rounds second, come on, Joey, and the crowd is going crazy, and I'm running as hard as I can, and he just, stuff's flying, oh, and so we round third, and I go, and Griffey's rounding third, and I go, okay, Joey, get ready, here we go, we're going to slide, and we slide in together, and the dust goes everywhere, and the guy on the intercom, home run, and the crowd's going nuts, and I pick up his little stroller, his walker, and I go, that a boy, Joey, that a boy, and I'm on my way back to the dugout, and you know how, I don't want to weird you out, but it's like the Spirit of God going, that's you, you're crippled, and you're lame, and you've fallen, and all of this, you can't make it. But I've wrapped my arms around you, and I've held you to myself, and I've taken you in your crippled state, and I've picked you up, and I've encouraged you in your ear. Yeah, you're my son. We can do this. You can do this. I love you. You're a champion. All of this, I'm going, oh God. Listen to me. Jesus is crazy in love with you. And I don't know how you came today. If you came all like this, or if you came dragging in like Joey, where you're crippled and you're stumbling all over yourself. Jesus wants to meet you today and show you, like David showed Mephibosheth, the love of God like you've never, ever seen before. One of the ways we are crippled is we have been deceived as a church. Not Charlotte. I'm talking about the church at large. We've been deceived. We've let it be made about a program or an attendance or this list that you don't get to do if you're this and you do if you die. It's really simple. It's about Jesus, and He loves you, and He's seeking for you, and He's after you. He is. Jesus is after you. I don't want anything to do with Him. Tough. He's after you. You run all you want. You're going to get out of breath. He's still going to be after you. Why? Because He has things for you. His plans for you and purposes for your life. And He's crazy in love with you. Let Him pick you up. Be Joey. And come up to Him in all of your stuff and go, I can't do it anymore. I've been waiting for you to say that. Here, let me put my arms around you. And I will be you.
That's us.
It's Jesus. It's that simple. So the question is, would you let Him be that for you and in you? Maybe, I know that the majority of the people in this room have already professed Jesus to be their Savior. You've already come to a place where you acknowledged Him and invited Him into your life and you've been forgiven. But for some of us, there's still this crippled thing. For some of us, there's still this deception. We're still lame in areas of our life. Listen, walking an aisle and getting baptized isn't the end all. It's a daily thing. It's every day I have to come with my walker going, I know you love me, but today you got to be Jesus in me. And I keep coming to Him over and over and over. Not to be saved again. I'm not saying that. But it's about Jesus is my life. And He wants to be your life. He wants to be all of me. Does that make sense? I want to give you a chance to do something about that. I'm not an arm twister. But I want to give you a chance to respond. You can do it right where you sit. Maybe you need to come pray publicly.